My wife yelled at me not to buy hearing protection for my job because it's not manly enough. I work at a food manufacturing facility, and one of the simple things they don't provide is proper PPE, such as earplugs, to keep your eardrums from being blown out. Most of the guys I work with range anywhere from 20-50 years old, and just about all of them failed the annual hearing test miserably because of this. Now, my wife has always been bipolar, had an attitude problem, or in most cases, lacked common sense or understanding. Today has just been the icing on top. I needed to go to the store today for my 100-pack of earplugs, and my wife asked to tag along. During the car ride, she wanted to know what I needed to go to the store for, and when I told her, she, quote, said, "Jesus, you're such a pussy. You men can't handle anything. Just deal with it and be a man." Yeah, no permanent hearing loss. For the rest of my, sounds good, doesn't it? Accidental rudeness. My biological father was a trucker and often helped load and unload whatever he was hauling. On one trip, he was moving barrels, the big metal ones. I have no idea what was in them, just that they were heavy. The professional team who was there to unload them told him not to worry about it, to just let them handle it because these required special care and procedures. He didn't listen, tried to move them, and got his hand caught under one and ended up losing his index finger. Now, in his generation, or at least in his family, pointing with your index finger was considered rude, and you would get smacked for it by your ma'am. So what they were taught to do instead was point with 2 fingers, which somehow canceled out the rudeness of pointing, I guess. So it'd be first finger and middle finger they used to point. As you can guess, this was a habit trained into him since childhood, so he continued, after the loss of his finger, to point with first and middle finger. Unfortunately, he didn't have the first finger anymore, so he was basically just flipping everyone off all the time. People usually laughed after they realized why he did that. Thankfully, I don't think anyone ever got mad. I do the 2-fingered point, too, or use my whole hand. I must be careful not to lose any fingers.